Base resonator here with my new crosses mold from Crafted Elements, and this cross has a little tapered edge. I don't know, let me see if I can zoom it. Well, I won't zoom in. Let me just pick this up. It's rounded all the way around the bottom, which is gonna be kind of cool. I've got these red jasper stones and a piece of fool's gold, and I'm going to put that in one of them, but I'm going to put a layer of clear down and let that cure. I don't want them just going all the way through. This is actually about an inch deep, so I've got plenty of room for those, but I'm going to put the gold one right in the middle and the red all around. I think it'll be kind of pretty. And on this side I'm going to do a small bloom using bloom paste and using USA Art Supply alcohol inks. I'm going to try those again. I tried them before and didn't have much luck, but it says shake. Well, I tried that out last night, and I was doing this scarlet red and vivid yellow, but I shook up the scarlet red while the cap was loose. It looked like I had a bad bloody nose. It was red all over the place, all over my hands and everything. Okay, so I'm going to pour in on this side for the stones. I already have a little bit set out for my white. I don't need a very deep thing. I just need it to be covering the bottom so that, and I've already prepped the mold with mold release. On this one here, I just need a little bit in there on the bottom to create a cover for the so the stones don't go all the way through. I'm using Naked Fusion craft resin, the new formula. And I'm going to shake these alcohol inks again. And for the, you know, and with this for the bloom, I'm going to paint it in. I have this new silicone brush that I got from Resin Rockers. I ordered a set and it came out, and there's one that's in there that's a very fine brush, so I don't have to worry about having big old blobs and stuff. But so I'm just going to use this little bit of white in there. I'm going to shake this red one with this Kleenex on it so that I don't look like a bloody mess. Oh, and of course now it doesn't leak out at all. Ha! Crazy thing. Okay, now make a liar out of me. So I'm going to put some red. What I had problems with the last time is the colors faded so quickly that I ended up using Let's Resin alcohol inks. But the thing is, I have colors in this set that I don't have with the Let's Resin, and I wanted to have these. Speaking of colors, the red from my Let's Resin already ran out. I'm going to put this over the top just in case. Now you see, those aren't fading like the last time I used them, so hopefully have the same effect here. Oh yeah, see, it's a lot stronger. And didn't have to use that Kleenex after all. So here's this new silicone brush. We just about threw it down on the ground. That would have been not good. I'm just trying to create a little bit of a pattern. I don't know exactly on this cross mold which way it'll bloom. I'm going to try and make little flowers down here on this bottom side. In my head I keep hearing somebody, no double dipping, no double dipping. Because look at the white is no longer just white. But that's okay. I will wipe it off and go to an area where I have not touched it with red, so when I get to the yellow part. Ooh. Okay, let me wipe this off now. And get an area of white. Okay, now I'm going to go back with the red area. And fill in, make sure I get good little patterns. And I'm hoping it'll look like his little roses, red and yellow rose on this cross. Don't know if that'll work or not, but we'll see. Okay, done painting that in. Now, wipe that off and let me create some patterns here. That one didn't go exactly, it was following the brush, but the brush was going wrong. Can't blame it on the bloom. Gotta blame it on myself, because I was in error. As this is being Memorial Day weekend here in the United States, I want this to be a memorial for what the Savior has done. Talk about what people have done, which is all good. But when someone pays the ultimate price on a cross, that's just as much of a Memorial Day for me as it is any other day. Okay, I'm going to let that go. Let this cure up, and then I'll be able to put my stones in. Let this continue to bloom, and then I will put another layer of, I don't know what color I'll put on the back behind that. I'll have to think about that, but the yellow has got a really cool pattern. These all look like little whirlpools. Fine. I can deal with that. Okay, I will come back later. Okay, these are set pretty good. This one I touched a little bit and it's leaving a few marks, but I think that's good enough to be able to put the stones in. This one is pretty solid. What I thought I would do on this one, on the one on the right with the color, is I'm going to use this eye candy, 2 different colors of brown mica powder, the Yukon brown and the Bokuto brown, and I'm going to try and make it look like wood behind the flowery substance that I've got there. So here's the Yukon brown, and I'm just going to put a little pattern to try and cause some wood grain effect, and then I'm going to pour them into another cup and try and get a dirty pour to go on top of it. So don't know how well it's going to work, but I'm going to try and draw it in here. Get a knot right around here. Make it look like the cross beams are going horizontal and the long beam vertical. Don't know how much you're going to be able to see of this through the bloom that went on, but it's an attempt, right? Have some fun with this. Okay, let me clean off this. Now what I'm going to do to make my dirty pours, I'm going to have, let me move these little jobbies. Now that you've seen what colors I'm using, and pour a little bit of this. Definitely have to use some alcohol on my glove. Pour a little bit of the Bokuto brown in. And the Yukon brown. You know, there's not that much different. They look a lot different in the packages, but I don't see that much difference as I'm pouring them in here. And it's brown. What can you expect from brown? What can you expect from brown? Packages. UPS. What can brown do for you today? the last little bit. You hear the mourning doves going on outside. Mourning, M-O-U-R-N-I-N-G, not like AM type of dove. For those of you that don't know what a mourning dove is. I don't know if mourning doves are all over the world or not, but okay, so I'm going to try and do like a ring pour. And just let it go. Let it go. Let it go. And I don't think I need to fill this mold all the way up. I think just letting that go will be fine. And I've got a little dragon over here that I'm pouring my extra resin into. A baby dragon. Now I know down under Australia and New Zealand they have a mimicking bird called a lyrebird. Well, here in Texas we have our state bird is a mockingbird. And I heard one the other day that must have been sitting outside a house where they watched a lot of ESPN Sports Center. I mean, it was making the sound of the theme music from ESPN Sports Center. That just cracked me up. And then another one was they imitate all the birds around here. I even heard one mimicking a hummingbird, which have a really high pitch call, but this mockingbird was doing it really perfectly. But then there was another one, it sounded like somebody, it had been sitting outside somebody's house that kept calling for their dog. And oh, now my dog's coming. Titan, the Wonder Corgi. I won't show you a picture of him now. He's been scratching on himself, causing a heat spot. So we have the cone of shame on him. Poor guy. His head looks like he's blooming, his face, and then there's a cone around it. The cone of shame. Got that from that movie Up, Disney. I don't know if there's any more in here to pour out. Just keep filling molds. Oh, that plastic popped. Just keep filling your old molds and stuff. You never know what's going to come out. You get some really strange patterns sometimes, and then sometimes you get really cool things happening with your leftover pours. I know Julie Cuts, she sells a ton of molds that she makes. She makes really nice molds, pouring your heart out. And sometimes when you make a purchase and she has some extra resin that she has poured and doesn't want to throw it out, she makes things called puffy hearts. And she includes those in some of her shipments. I know, because I got one. Yay! Thank you, Julie. Talking about quality molds. Julie cuts molds at Pouring Your Heart Out. You can get her stuff on some on Amazon, but most of it on eBay. And Crafted Elements. I mean, there are a lot of mold makers out there, but these by far, hers and Crafted Elements, quality things. Okay, now set that little baby dragon over here. Which side? Oh, that looks really cool. And once I set it in place, I'm going to try and now what I'm setting down is what's going to be facing forward. I'm going to try and make sure I get some resin, making sure it gets underneath it. I don't want any bubbles going on underneath. Bubbles are the bane of resin artists worldwide. But then if you do happen to buy a piece from somebody, that's already, well, he's not going anywhere. If you do get something from somebody and it has a bubble, don't complain. I wanted you to go the other way. Oh good, he's still not. It just shows that you are getting a individual piece. It's not a fabricated thing from a big company. Now that little piece has a good looking agate formation on it. I want to make sure that, oh wouldn't you know, those, I think it looks better on the other side. Yes. You're getting an individual piece and it has character. Now, the artist probably thinks, oh man, I blew that. But instead of thinking or finding fault in everything, look for the beauty that is there. Because there is beauty in everything. For instance, that big Texas piece that I made with a bunch of flowers, I looked at it really closely, and I, with my own critical, you know, we're artists are usually their worst critics, and I'm sitting there, wow, I see a bubble here, I see a bubble there that I missed. But you know, for persons that have never seen this type of art before, they miss that, which is nice, because okay, that one can, this one's gonna go here, because we see the fault because we know what perfection is, but those customers or consumers who've purchased our product see the pretty there, and a lot of times they don't even notice the bubbles, which to me, I'm sitting there looking at it and I'm like, oh man, and then they come in and go, oh, this is so beautiful, and I'm like, okay, you know, I will let it stay. Now notice, some of these stones are starting to sink a little bit, which is fine. They're not going to go all the way to the bottom. It had enough curing that has taken place to prevent them from going all the way down, but that's going to cause them to have a better seal. more stone. No, I think I'll leave that one there because that agate's by itself, which I didn't know red jade was an agate, but or maybe they threw in a red agate just by accident. Anyway, I'm going to mix up some more clear and I'll come back. Resin's mixed up and degassed, so I will pour it in slowly. I'll go right over the pyrite. Fool's gold. I've had that chunk for a long time. I remember, I don't know if I found it or if my dad gave it to me. But I was late elementary or in the junior high, and I thought, man, I got some real gold. Look at this chunk of stuff. And then somebody said, that's fool's gold. And I'm like, oh, I'm the fool, I guess. The cool thing about this mold is those rounded edges on the bottom make it harder for bubbles to find their way. Now I do see a couple bubbles hanging on to some stones, so I'm going to get after those real quick. What I was saying earlier about artists always find fault in their own work. As a professional singer of classical type music, you know, I was confronted by a professor one time who says, never tell your audience when they come up and say, oh, you did such a good job, never say, oh, well, I was breathing in the middle of the phrase, I messed it up here, I messed it up there. He says, they gave you a compliment, take it. Okay, so if you find a piece of art and you like it, that somebody has made, whether it's resin or a painting or some other type of art form, enjoy it. Don't sit there and try and pick it apart. And if you are the artist and somebody says, oh, I really like it, take the compliment. It was given as such. So take it as such. I think I'm going to leave this one just clear. Well, that was that pyrite shining. I thought that was a bubble. Huh. Bubble there, though. The bubble there. Come on. Just trying to loosen these bubbles to get them away from the edge so that I can get at them with a I'm going to say heat gun, but either that or long-handled lighter. Get away from the edge. I don't really want to spray alcohol on this if I'm going to leave it clear. Sometimes alcohol leaves a funny, like a film on the finished product if you're going clear. Now this thing makes a noise. That's okay. I don't want to touch the edges, but I got a spot right there where I touched, but it was at the top. It leaves a little bit of carbon on there, and I don't want to do that. So cover your ears. Okay. Like in Star Trek, I got a Klingon. I may change my mind about the back of this stones one, because it looks like I'm gonna have to put another layer, because a couple of these stones, the pyrite and one back here, leaving a bump. And I didn't make enough resin to cover that bump. I thought I did, but anyway, I will get back to you once these cure up. Okay, these are cured up, but this one has a bump here with that behind the pyrite and behind that one piece of jade. So I'm going to go ahead and fill up the molds all the way. And in order to do that, I didn't want to just go clear. I thought, I want to bring out that red and that gold at the same time. So I'm going to use some colors from Tropical Glitz. And what I'm using here is Fudge Brownie, which is a brown, shiny metal flake, and Psycho Inferno, which is a red. And I've already mixed it up. I'm just waiting for it to degas a little bit. Look what it looks like. I think I found out why I'm having it's darker in here. I got a light burned out in my ceiling unit above me. I'll have to get that changed later, but that's why there's a little darker than I would like it to be. So it's been degassing for a little while. This one I'm not so worried about. It'll have a really cool look from the side, but it's not going to affect the front at all with this color. This one, it will hopefully bring out that red and gold. Oh, can you see that color? Wow, that's pretty. Those red stones will be shown off, and the gold, because that red and that brown together should cause it to, okay, I'm trying to get it to dome up a little bit so that I don't have a sharp edge when I'm all done on the back of these. Not quite enough there, but I'll have some bubbles I'll have to get rid of, but that's fine. So yeah, now gotta wait for this to cure up, but I'm expecting very pretty results. See you then. Unmolding time. Okay, I want to start with the bloom first. Wish, come on now, get out of there. Oh man, that looks really slick. It's not your traditional bloom, but a bloom is in there. That's cool looking. And I love this mold. Look at that, those tapered edges on there. And I had bumped it up enough to where I don't have to sand or anything on the back. Yeah, baby. Okay, set that one down. And then oh yes, look at that. That is I'm gonna go where I've got a little bit better light. Wow, I am definitely pleased with that result. Crafted Elements makes this mold. If you are interested in making some crosses, this is their small one. Wow, and they're an inch thick. Look at that. You can see those stones in there. And then on this, you can see that bloom going sideways. That's slick as all get out. Okay, I'll take some stills and attach them to the end of this video. Thank you to my subscribers. Thank you to all of those who have bought me a coffee. Yeah, I'm very pleased. Happy Memorial Day.